Again?
Yeah, let's do that.
Jamie?
Oh, righto. My name's Jamie Hazelden. I'm a four-wheel drive enthusiast that likes to travel remotely and go to different places. I've done a few TV shows and whatnot. And I'm here to share a little bit of wisdom.
I'm Mark Fawcett. I'm from Earthcruiser. We manufacture motorhomes, off-road, four-wheel drive adventure vehicles. And I'm up here on stand C33.
I'm Ronny Dahl, and I have a mainly educational full drive YouTube channel, but also there's a lot of travel on there. Normally at these shows on a Sunday, I'm usually hungover, but for the first time, I didn't have a big night, but I've been to the gym this morning, so I got the same result. I'm stuffed.
I'm Daniel Fluckiger. I'm an Overlanding enthusiast, and we are making those pop tops over there.
So today, guys, we spoke. Friday we spoke about vehicle setups. Yesterday we spoke about what we bring for camping, food-wise, and all that. I think today, should we talk about what we actually camp in? We haven't really touched on that too much. We can sort of talk about swags, tents, these kind of tents. There's so many options.
And royalty.
and the moving hotels on the rigs he's got up there are absolutely next level.
Jamie, you've seen ours off-road.
Oh, yeah.
They go all right.
They go all right. They go absolutely anywhere. And, you know, it's funny when you see a vehicle that's so decked out. It has so much power, solar, washing machines, microwaves, you name it, it's in that truck.
It is.
You sometimes forget you're in a desert and you step
Yeah,
out. Oh,
sure.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Totally glamping.
I've got a bit of a question for you there.
Sure.
You've got all that gear in cars. In the beginning, when customers came to me and said they want a microwave and all that stuff, then they're bringing microwaves which you buy normal shops. How is a washing machine going corrugation?
So the little...
Stop breaking it.
Yeah, well, lots of those things we kind of, you wonder when you first put them in there, but we've been doing it for a long while, so they do hang in there. The one we use is that little 3 kilo, it was 2.5, now I think it's a 3 kilo. No problems at all. And again, the reason they're doing it is they don't want to go to caravan parks. They just don't want to, so...
Do you put them on buffers or something that when they shake?
No, the vehicle, well, obviously the vehicle itself would make it softer. So the vehicle itself we try to preserve. But look, when you hit corrugations, unless you've got central tyre inflation, as the new 6x6 does,
I'm looking at that too.
corrugations are hard on the truck anyway. But we do have a bit of a learning curve with some of these guys where preservation of the vehicle is a must, and unless you preserve that vehicle, you can destroy anything. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how robust a tank will end up falling apart if you treat it badly. So, but no, we don't have to do that. Even with the microwaves and stuff, it's all good. The glass plates, the whole lot. But that's what people say. So why don't you show us what's going on inside the vehicle? There's nothing going on inside the vehicle. It's not falling apart. Things aren't going everywhere. I mean, all the drawers are locked and whatnot. Nothing's moving. I mean, it's pretty, unless you flip it and you end up on your lid, it's pretty much in place. Yeah, that's pretty bad then,
I mean, if the corrugations are rough enough, you wouldn't have to turn the washing machine on with it.
No, you can use no, you can use those agitator buckets, I guess, but our guys like washing machines.
Yeah. But can we have just a show of hands? Who camps in a camp trailer?
There's a lot of traction here, but it looks like it'll be a tall order.
Yeah, not too many. A swag? Okay, interesting. Or a motorhome?
What about an Earthcruiser?
Nice. No, that's good. I mean, it just gives an idea of everybody's camping ideas.
What about a rooftop?
Oh, sorry, I forgot that.
And just your old school tent. Yeah?
That's the truth.
So you're in a tent using a rooftop?
We won't say you're going to try and show us your age or anything like that. Okay?
So these are actually called that game. I learned from my father.
That's what I just said. You know? That's great. But I mean, how do you roll, Ronny?
Look, if I have the 79, then I roll the swag. I love sleeping on the ground, but also love being off the ground in a tent. So for me, winter swag, summer tent, because it's hard to catch a breeze on the ground. So I've been to Kimberley during wet season, and it's not the most pleasant place to be unless you can probably tolerate it more because you're in Queensland. But for someone so far south in Perth, I mean, it does get hot, it's a dry heat. So, I do not like wet season in a slag. Rooftop, at least you can catch a little bit of a breeze.
Yep, can understand that. I mean, I personally, I can't, I mean, this weather down here is freezing. I don't know,
No, it is. For everybody.
well, that's good to know. We normally get attacked for that.
No, it's cold. This morning was very cold.
Daniel's in shorts and t-shirt.
Oh, no, I won't say anything.
You tell us what.
And then,
I grew up in Europe, and in Europe pop tops are very big. It's part of the safety. We go a lot to Africa, or little part of Africa, and we just want to be in an enclosed area. So we did tents very early on, but I moved into pop tops about 35 years ago. And now we build them ourselves over here, so that's my preferred way to travel.
and are we talking ensemble, queen size, king size? What do
You can go from a twin, which is 2 singles, to a double, to a queen, and then to a king if you want.
I was just wondering.
Obviously, well, the problem with that is that people do tend to want to go to a queen just because of the heat. Because when you sleep at night, 2 bodies right next, 2 38-degree sinks sitting right next to each other. So the queen is actually a favourite, but therefore you lose space because. But it's a consideration.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And in yours?
Takes up the whole truck. Done 3 of them.
Pop tops? Just a bit less than a double bed. Yeah. It depends. These are the Grenadiers are 130 wide, but all the others are 120.
Yeah, okay.
So I would say the same amount of room as a bit more room than a double swag. A double swag fits higher because it's got a curve, but you've got that more room in the
probably get a bit more breeze in that one as well than in the swag.
Yeah. So before my eldest daughter passed 10 years old, so she's 12 now. I used to fit 2 kids inside rooftops similar to that, or and myself, or in a double swag. It did get to a point where I was like this or like that, but I'll put over it. It was all good.
Yeah. Well, I've just stepped up, so I haven't tried it yet. But this little swag, they call it a double swag over here. It's an RS2. Now, I generally use, and I've used it for years, as an RS1, which is a smaller version of that. So that's how I've rolled for quite some time.
So, with like tents, how you get like the 4-man tent and you pick it up from Kmart and you're like, okay, it's going to be pretty tight for comfort in here.
Yep.
Where do you put it with your sleeping bags and that? Because you literally got to like play Tetris with humans to fit in them. With the RVs, is this classed as like a 2-person tent? Or
But it's not the tent. That's classed as their swag.
as a swag?
So that's their tent you can stand in.
Yeah, okay.
So
I do have the RV5.
Yeah.
I've had it for like 15 years. That thing's awesome.
they're amazing.
But I was just wondering because you still see the tents at like your camping stores and it's like 4-man tent. Okay, so I'll get this for Dan who used to edit for me. He got deported because his visa expired, so he still works for me. He's coming back. So I was like, okay, so 4-man tent. Okay, that'll fit 1 person.
Yeah.
I'll get that.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean,
When I grew up, the golden rule was whatever they say, you halve it. So a 4-man tent was always for 2.
Yeah.
That's before I went to the pop tops. That's what I bought.
Yeah. Well, it's that luggage stuff, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah. You need that as well.
You need that bit of room. I mean, for me, that's a very quick and simple one for me because it's a class of the 30-second. Put up to, open it up, pull it out, and pop up some posts, and we're done.
Is that what you use now?
I haven't used that one yet. I've only used the RS1, which is a smaller version again, so it's single.
Okay, so even having that truck of yours, that big truck, which is, Liam was really envious of it. I think he's going to buy one of those now. So even with that truck, you still go on the ground in this way?
Yes.
Yeah, that's your preferred?
Yeah, I mean, well, when I'm up the Cape, I might lay it out inside.
Yeah.
Because it might be a bit close to the rocks.
Crocodiles.
So I'll put it on the back of it for that.
Well, on the back of the tray?
Yeah, on the back of the tray.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, when I'm in the croc area.
Yeah, so then you're in the room, isn't it?
Yeah. And then, so that can be my base camp.
Yeah.
And then if I go in this, I take a little single swag that is a lot smaller,
Okay.
Smaller in room for me to carry stuff.
Yep.
And, you know, I can still run the fridge in that. I can still take rods and everything else. So it makes me a bit more remoter.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so I was going to ask another question to change subjects and say maybe about skill sets for people travelling. Is there anything that you guys would encourage them to learn or to embrace prior to their embarkation on their long journeys? I mean, obviously mechanical skills, medical skills, first aid, that kind of stuff.
I reckon you should do everything. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah,
it is absolutely a good point because you can never not do enough research on your travels, and it's always great and interesting for everybody to go and have a chat or watch some YouTube or watch just people that are actually doing it all the time.
Yeah.
So, like we were talking about snake handling last night. You know, I'm a registered snake handler.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it as a job or anything like that, but I did it for a safety factor because I get to see a few snakes here and there, you know?
Yeah.
And that's one thing, but that comes with talking first aid.
Yeah.
But I won't take all of it, so...
Yeah. Well, I think when we go away, we normally go away with up to 20 people, 10 trucks or something like that. That's about the most we've ever been with. But the breadth of knowledge that these guys have, and obviously they've got it along the way, but it's also some of the equipment they take. So they don't take a Kmart special first aid kit. They have a proper, you know, big kit with snake gear in it, and they have books rather than, I can look it up on my phone, which no service, no access, so they have that. But also the mechanical skills, the equipment to do, you know, minor things, but to get themselves out of trouble. I think self-recovery with that, but that whole mindset, that whole skill set of being able to learn about that before you get going, that's a learned skill, I think.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Like, I think at least in a convoy, normally I'll say I'll say at least 2 people should really know first aid.
Oh, absolutely.
And these days with first aid, you actually learn snake bite treatment as well. At least if you're doing WA, I'm pretty sure you'll be nationwide, surely. Right?
Probably,
Yeah,
So I used to have to do the advanced course to get that, which just goes next level of trauma and stuff. But so definitely first aid. Look, with mechanical skills, I mean, I'm not a mechanic myself. At a pinch, I would figure out amongst the group how to redo this wheel bearing by taking photos as I'm pulling it off and then putting it back together. What I would really love to do is to actually have a mechanic supervising me doing all 4 wheel bearings on my vehicle so that I have that hands-on knowledge that I've just done it and it's just easier to do. So I think working on your vehicle yourself or helping out a mate who's got a problem, just everyone get in there, throw your ideas and help them out because everyone's going to learn something because if you add all these bits of knowledge in the whole convoy, you'll be surprised at the problems that you can actually fix.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the one thing for me is those cars become more and more capable, and they can bring you to situations or to places you may or may not want to be at the end. So that's for me a big one when I talk to customers, make sure you actually learn how to drive your car, also off-road, not do stupid things, and then, as I said, get into situations. Some is rock rolling and very difficult tracks, but they're very basic things where you just had recently a customer that had the accident on an old gravel road. Lost control of the vehicle, there was a pothole you couldn't see because the sun came in the wrong way and just rode his car. Luckily most walked away unharmed, but these things are very, very scary, and we sometimes forget that 80 k's on a gravel road, which is probably pretty much a standard out there, is actually bloody dangerous if you don't know how to handle it. So that's for me a big one. Snake control and all that is pretty good. I do bushwalking, but I rarely see them. I might have my eyes closed, but they very stick away.
They're there.
Yeah.
They're there.
Luckily my wife is first aid and a bit medically trained and that stuff, which is good, so I don't have to look after that. But for me the cars, it's very dangerous. It's that electronics they put in there and all that help, but at the end of the day it's still you controlling that steering wheel. So that's a big one for me.
Who else?
So I also think the location of where you put the first aid kit is important.
Yeah.
It might be good that you know where it is, But if your mate doesn't know where it is and you can't talk or whatever, you know. So same with fire extinguisher. I mean, a fire extinguisher is not really, honestly, not going to do much, but it's better to have it than not have it. You can stop a fire before it becomes a fire. You can't stop a fire with a fire extinguisher.
And I mean, very visible, that stuff. Just visible, or just, I mean, the first aid kit can be in the drawer, but just maybe put a cross on it. Everybody knows it. It's international.
You get a cross as a patch, you get a sticker.
We have had some customers putting whacker packers on their trucks lately. Obviously, our age group is more mature, so therefore it's probably more needed, but they're fully, tells you everything. They're less than $400 now, some of them, so little tiny whacker packer, and you can hook it up. And
that's a defib,
The defib, yeah. I think they're 436 or something. I saw one somewhere, but I don't know how good those ones are, but they tell you exactly what to do, you know, verbally, voice. It's really interesting. Well, we have some doctors, so
they've only just come down.
They were like, I remember last time I looked at 2.5, I saw them at 1,500, and I said, well, we have some doctors that own trucks, and because they have that skill set, they certainly don't want to be out there and not have the gear to help. I mean, we've had people sew up. There's a recent one where one of the ladies fell over, tore her knee from here to here at Mount Dare, and that's a helicopter evacuation straight away. And her husband's one of the top surgeons in Australia, sewed it up.
As you do.
Woo! And she kept going for 6 weeks.
But one thing I do want to say is, when we're talking first aid kits, I know we've just been on that for a while, that subject, but the most important part of that first aid kit is keep it up to date. Because a lot of people put it away, they forget about it, and then the time they come to get to it, the creams are all off, this is off, it's been 12 months or more, so...
or it's been used.
It's been used, but check them all the time, because it's the time when you need it is when you need it.
I can reflect on that. I've ran out of Band-Aids numerous times. It's like I've got to keep refilling it, but I always forget, you know. So now I've got now carry two.
Absolutely.
I got another subject. Ready?
Yeah.
Where's the best place you've been?
Right.
I might ask the audience as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's it yours?
I mean, look.
So many.
This country.
Yeah. Australia.
Has got so much to offer in so many places, and there's something for everyone in those different places. But look, getting lost in the Kimberleys is one of my favourites. But just an ultimate one that you can't go wrong with is crossing the Simpson Desert. Just as the sun's going down, the colours that come through. Pulling up for the camp for the night and getting a little fire going, and then just sitting back and looking at those shooting stars.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, the Simpson Desert's nice.
Do that.
Yeah, everyone talks about that.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, I think mine. It's very hard. The Simpson Desert I love, and the Painted Desert is, you know, you get there at 5 in the morning and wait for the sun to get. But I think probably would be sitting in that little oasis up at Mount Elizabeth Station in northwestern Australia, where it's white sand, this beautiful little moving bit of water, and the ochre and green, and I think anywhere in Western Australia is pretty good. Up north of the Kimberley there is pretty good though. I mean, Esperance is great too. Yeah, but Mount Elizabeth Station, if you haven't been there, there's some horrible tracks up there. We did the Wall Hot Inlet one, which was pretty bad, but yeah, that's special, that one.
I'd like to say the place I haven't been to yet. Or maybe, look, if I had to pick right now, it's so hard, man.
It is,
I'd just go Twilight Cove, just probably the special place it is,
Twilight Cove.
Twilight Cove. So not Twilight Bay. That's the other side. So that's on the Baxter, at the eastern end of the Baxter Cliffs.
Right.
You can camp in sand that's whiter than these chairs.
Yeah. You showed me that.
Yeah. And even if the wind is howling, the wall does this pressure thing, so it doesn't affect you there, even if it's really windy. And we've seen Southern Rights birth right there. We could have gone out and touched them. Obviously we didn't. I've seen my kids chase sea lions, and I've been chasing after the kids going, they can die. I even saw an eagle carry a snake into the sunset, and I was seeing that poor snake. Over the ocean. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I've got quite a few places in Australia. I was so different to speak, so Kimberley's definitely favourite. Those colours up there are just magic. I haven't been to Pilbara yet, but that was definitely one of my destinations I want to go, so I can't say it's my favourite.
You have to go to Pilbara.
The other thing is high country, big high country. It's probably too cold for you, isn't it?
It is getting cold, but I've done it a few
It's
times.
bloody cool. We go there every year. I think I've done probably all the tracks there are, but every time I do it, they're different. And if they're not, I just turn around and do it the other way.
Yeah.
Then a city campsite, well not city, but a great campsite for a family just up from Sydney is comes again. Outside Grafton, very nice there. And
I've been to Grafton. It's one of the places I've actually been to.
Have you been to that campsite?
I've been to Justin from Hazelden took me there.
Pebbley Beach.
Grafton.
Pebbley Beach, yes, Pebbley Beach, absolutely.
Don't forget once you've been there.
One of the reasons why it's probably still very nice is I call him the gatekeeper, but the guy working there was a volunteer for national parks. If he sees people who drive too fast through that river, he says, sorry, we're closed, we're full. And the campsites are empty. He just only lets people in he actually wants to talk to, and that's quite brilliant. So he preserves that place, which is really nice. But Simpson Desert is a favourite as well. I don't like the French lines anymore. They're for me too many city slickers driving that road now. I call it a road, it's not a track for me anymore.
Yeah.
But as you said, the sunset.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Or when you just lay there and it's dead silence.
Yeah.
And you see the stars, and maybe you hear a thing going far away. It's beautiful. Magic.
So who has got a favourite place they can share with us? Yes. Cape York? Yep, it is beautiful up there. Absolutely. Have you been there? No, yeah, that's where you want to go.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
No, it's a wonderful place. Anyone else?
Also from a competitive point of view,
No one else to share
No,
a
that's
place?
So
So you don't go now?
over the back, over the
Oh,
back.
go on.
getting to Dahl after crossing the Sunday
Doesn't get any better, does it?
Dalhousie.
You know, you got to go to Dalhousie. Are you talking about going to the waterhole or going to the ruins or both? Yeah, you go to the ruins and then you go there, you sit at the ruins and you just look around and you say to yourself, how did anyone live here?
Yeah.
How did they get the rocks here? It's just incredible, that place. And of course, having a swim there.
The swim is the go.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that's why the water's murky? Everyone finishes the Simpson and hops in
Yeah. It's the thing to do.
That's a funny one. But did you know, the Aboriginal culture, it's one of the biggest areas of culture in Australia. The scar trees that are all around Dalhousie Springs is absolutely incredible. It goes for a long, long, long way. It is a very special place.
So, what's a place you would like to go to you haven't been to yet?
Yesterday was doing better for them.
Ooh, that's a hard one. I've been to a few places, but it's really, it's sort of going to be for me the top end of the Kimberleys, really, above Broome. So I'd like to just go and spend some time in there, exploring those areas, those tracks, whether it's going for the bushwalking or driving into those places. For me.
Dalhousie.
There you go. Found it.
Yeah.
For me, it's Peterborough. Peterborough, I have to go there.
Really?
You're
Pilbara.
saying Pilbara, aren't you?
Pilbara.
That's
Yeah.
Because it sounds like Peterborough.
Sorry, that's my accent. You're talking so much over the weekend, you should get used to it, man.
Yep.
Honestly,
I've had so many customers who sent me photos from that region,
Yeah.
I just have to go.
you have to go.
Yeah.
It's the underrated place. Everyone goes to the Kimberley,
Yeah.
but the Pilbara, I don't know. I rate the Pilbara as high as the Kimberley. It is phenomenal, but it just not Karajini, not that part of it, but the other side of Karajini. It's still a national park, but it's wild. You can go in there, and we nearly got stuck there from floods.
Yeah.
Dry rivers on the way out. We've got to get out.
Yeah.
So many waterholes, so much stuff around there. It's huge.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest shire in. I think it might actually be the biggest shire in the world.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That East Pilbara, that is. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I think mine might be coastal trip from Broome south. I haven't done that area there. All the way down through the beaches and inland. Yeah, that'd be nice. The sharks all the way down.
Yeah, all the way there's one
Crocodiles.
just north of Perth.
Yep.
The Pinnacles.
Oh yeah.
During that
Yeah.
full moon and go for a walk in there.
I've got some great photos of it.
And
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's the evenings coming behind those pinnacles.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Yeah.
There's a common trend here, people. Everyone's saying WA.
Western Australia.
Where you come from? WA.
No, it's a beautiful.
You're one of the come camping with you, mate.
Well, even all the way down to Pemberton, all the way down the south end of WA is beautiful. It's like there's nothing like it.
So I've got a question for everyone here. What's your scariest encounter? Whether it's vehicle, accident, animal, whatever it is, what's the scariest encounter?
Oh yeah, I can jump straight in if you guys still think.
Go for it.
Actually, in the Kimberley, we were trying to get to Walcott Inlet. We were trying to get to Walcott Inlet that night because there was going to be a king tide. Yep, 13 metres. We wanted to see it, and the next day it was still a bit high, but we wanted to be at the 13, not the 12.7. So we're pushing, and then obviously it's dark. We couldn't really see where we were, and then we knew that the riverbank was there somewhere. I hadn't realised that the water had actually been up there, so it was slippery. So I actually slipped down to the second layer of the bank in the dark.
Wow.
Salty's who knows where.
Yeah.
And luckily I have my mate Torbs up there. He was extending his arm down. We were literally just holding on. He's holding on to one of those trees on the edge, a mangrove, and then got up. I was actually a little bit concerned there because I couldn't see, and I knew that there would be crocs down there. Yeah, you could
Absolutely.
Yeah. There might have been a croc for a kilometre, but
Doesn't matter.
No, they're there. I got videos.
Yeah.
I've seen them in the day up there.
Yeah, so I was a bit foolish standing that close to the edge. I was tired, not thinking straight. So yeah.
For me, it would be Northern Africa, Libya when we travelled. We have this in Australia, and we have a lot of sand dunes, but there's nothing like the Saharan Desert. There are no tracks. You follow GPS points from one oasis to the other, and you have to basically look how you place your car. And there are certain situations where you drive up a dune and you have to come down again to get more momentum, because those dunes are a lot higher than the Big Red. And they are very scary moments when you drive up and you have to veer down again to get momentum, and then you start slipping, the back end goes, and then you have to do it again. And that's very hairy. I do not like these situations. So that's probably for me the scariest bit.
Oh, I'm not going to talk about the scariest. I've had some really bad ones, but I'll say one of the best ones was in the Simpson Desert, 6 trucks. I was just out there with my son. We just finished at the campfire, walking back to the truck, put our foot on the first step, and as we did that, herd of camels right past the back of us.
Wow.
At about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. It's brilliant. Yeah, it was insane. Went straight through the middle of the campfire, straight through. It was exhilarating. You just turn around and there's these massive, I don't know, there must have been 6 to 8 of them. It was just straight through.
And there is, they don't stop for anything.
Yeah, it was impressive.
I've seen that back in the days when they used to have the Brumbies up on Fraser Island.
Yeah.
It was just incredible. You'd have 30 horses just run straight through your camp.
Yeah, we've had,
Amazing.
yeah, no, it's great.
There's only one thing a camel will stop for.
What?
Bit of water, mate.
Well, I think my scariest one was it was a trip up into the Gulf, and we set off we'd forged the track through, and we camped on the side of an estuary, and we kicked off in the morning to go up to the mouth. We weren't sure how far it was. We had an idea, and so we couldn't fit everybody in my little tinny. So we head on up to the mouth, and I got up there, dropped them off, and then I went back to the other guys. Now, what I didn't take into consideration was the 6-hour tides. So I wasn't prepared, no one was prepared, because the guys at camp had a sat phone, the guys up this end had a sat phone, and I had nothing. So it was not being ready for the situation. So I've headed back down. I'm coming back down and the water's getting lower, and then I'm getting out of the tinny, dragging the tinny into the next water hole to keep going down. And now, when I left in the morning, I left as not long after the sun's come up. So it's a long drawn out day at this stage, because I've gone up, dropped them off, I'm heading back down, and I've got to another water hole. Now I've had to take the boat motor off, put it on my shoulder, drag the tinny, and move on to keep going down, not realising what's actually happened. I've got to the next hole, which is, they're quite long holes, but then I can see bull sharks in the hole. So I put the tinny back on, I put the motor back on, I've started going through, I've got to the next part and I can't go any further. Now the next part, so I've still got bull sharks in this one, but now I've got a croc on each side of the bank and bull sharks in the next one. So now I'm actually starting to panic because I'm on my own. And so back then I had what they call the JVC video camera with a cassette in it, and I just had to tell the story of what's happening here at that time because I didn't know what was going to happen. Now, at that time, one of the crocs had got slipped down into the water, and so I can't get out of the tinny at this stage because I've got the croc on either side and I've got bull sharks in there. So I'm in a serious situation where I don't know what I'm going to do, but then the great part was we start seeing this water start trickling back in, and I don't know how long the time was because it was, you know, you've got your heart in your mouth, you don't know what's going on.
Lifetime.
Oh, it was a long time. And then I managed to get through and go. So I've gone down, picked up the other guys. I'm not in a happy way at this stage because I'm a bit shaken up and whatnot. But by the time I got back up to the mouth again, it's dark. So that's how long that day was. So it was a long day. So I've got these guys in. They had communicated in the meantime, say, where am I, of course. And it was a bit of a panic attack for everybody. I got back up there, but then when we got back up there, we couldn't get the tinny in. We had to get out of the tinny to go to shore. And we had to go knee deep in the water to get to shore. And that's, as you know, croc-infested waters.
Yeah.
That was my scariest time I've had.
You got to watch the
Tell
tides.
the story. I was lucky. It was.
Yeah, tides are one.
We're going to have to wind up
Nice.
because we've got some stories from him happening.
Yep, going to get some good advice from Hema.
But we better get
navigation.
any questions.
Yeah, let's get
Yeah,
some
yes,
questions.
Anyone got a question?
Questions?
It's got to be.
I won't bite.
Some question.
No.
Come on.
Wow.
They got it all covered. Let's...
No. No. All right. Well, thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you guys.
Enjoy the show.